New revelations in Pegasus spyware storm. Report says former CBI chief Alok Verma was added to the Pegasus list after being sacked in 2018. Report also says Anil Ambani was a potential target. Trinamool Congress MP snatches paper from IT minister and tears it. There is chaos in Rajya Sabha. Minister cuts short his speech. Sources say action is likely against the MP. Farmers hold a mini parliament in the heart of Delhi. Say they want MPs to listen to farmers' demands. Minister calls farmers mawalis. Congress protests in support of farmers. And B.S. Yediyurappa indicates that he may not remain Chief Minister after this weekend. Says he will follow whatever BJP High Command decides for him after 26th of July. Hello and welcome to NDTV 24/7. I'm Rohit Wellington. Let's begin with our top story. Fresh revelations in the Pegasus spyware storm. News portal The Wire has reported that the phone numbers of Reliance's Anil Ambani were on the alleged list of potential targets of surveillance. That's according to the report. Also that former CBI Chief Alok Verma's phone numbers were added to the Pegasus surveillance list after he was sacked in October 2018. Let's go across to Arvind Gunasekar for more on this. Arvind, give us the details of these new revelations.
Rohit, the new report, part of the Pegasus Spyware project, reveals that the former CBI Director Alok Verma and his family members, their phones were put under the surveillance zone right hours after he was ousted as the CBI chief in 2018. On October 23rd, 2018, he was removed as the CBI chief after that ugly fight between him and the number 2, Rakesh Asthana. So this particular report from The Wire, which is part of the international collaboration that has accessed the Pegasus spyware database, that reveals that hours after he was removed as the CBI director, this particular mobile number, his 3 mobile numbers, also his wife, also his daughter and his son-in-law, almost 8 of their phone numbers were put under the surveillance zone. And in fact, all those 8 numbers were sent, 8 mobiles were sent for forensic examination to the Amnesty International, and it shows that these 8 phones were compromised. So that's the report The Wire has put out. Not just Alok Verma, this particular report also says that Rakesh Asthana, who was number 2, was the special director at that time. Also A.K. Sharma, who held the most sensitive post in CBI, that is a joint director policy. Even his number was put under the surveillance. That's what the Wire report says. So we did reach out to Alok Verma for his comment, but we have not got any response from his end.
All right, Arvind Gunasekar, thanks very much for joining us with those details. And the spyware storm was witnessed in Parliament as well. A protesting Trinamool MP snatched papers from IT Minister and tore them. Amid the din, the Minister cut short his statement. Here's a report on the political storm over Pegasus scandal.
Sir, with your permission, I may be allowed to lay the statement on the Minister. The papers of the Information Technology Minister snatched, torn, forcing him to cut short his statement on the Pegasus scandal. The culprit, TMC's Shantanu Sen. Minister Vaishnav's statement was identical to the one he made on Monday, even though since his name has been reported as a target in the phone hack allegations. Parliament was stalled. The BJP went on the offensive and claimed Amnesty International, which was part of the Pegasus investigation, had distanced itself from the list of over 50,000 phones.
The way mythical characters like Darth Vader or Voldemort are created in Harry Potter, similar conduct is being indulged in by the opposition in the Parliament. Amnesty International has denied about this list, and yet opposition has continued to disrupt the House on a fake list.
The human rights group rejected reports which questioned the Pegasus data. Israeli media had alleged Amnesty's said list of 50,000 phone numbers were not related to the NSO. Amnesty called recent reports false allegations and inaccurate media stories and stands by findings of the Pegasus project. Data is irrefutably linked to potential targets of NSO's Pegasus spyware. False rumors pushed on social media intended to distract from widespread unlawful targeting of journalists, activists and others. However, some unanswered questions remain. But where did the list of the 50,000 potential targets come from? Amnesty says we will not comment on how the records were accessed. Either way, the Pegasus scandal isn't about to die down.
They are giving misleading statement on this Pegasus issue. We are not going to accept it. That is what happened.
The government has to give us a simple, straightforward answer, and that is, did you use Pegasus? Yes? No? Or did you use Pegasus? Is that correct? No answer.
But the TMC MP who targeted the minister could face action. With more names expected in the hacking case, India's opposition is asking one simple question. Did the government use Pegasus software against prominent individuals? With camera person Ashok Male, Sunil Prabhu, NDTV.
Now, while the monsoon session of Parliament is on, farmers are now holding a mini parliament at Jantar Mantar in the heart of Delhi. They say they want the MPs to listen to farmers' demands.
From Singhu on Delhi's border with Haryana, 200 farmers left this morning for Jantar Mantar in central Delhi to hold a Kisan Sansad in tandem with Parliament being held just 2 kilometers away.
Farmers have issued a whip to the parliamentarians. Normally parties do it, but this time the voters have done it. We are going there to discuss an issue which has been discussed in the Parliament of UK, New Zealand, Canada, but not in India.
At Jantar Mantar, heavy security deployment as the farmers began to arrive in buses. Prominent farmer leader Rakesh Tikayat flagged off the event.
यहाँ पे बैठेंगे, अपनी बात रखेंगे और किसान संसद भी चला सकता है, ये भारत सरकार ने मान लिया. कंडीशनल बात करते हैं, कंडीशनल बात ना करें.
But the government repeated its earlier stand.
बिल के किस प्रावधान पर उनको आपत्ति है, अगर वो आपत्ति बताएंगे तो आज भी सरकार खुले मन से उनके साथ चर्चा करने को तैयार है.
In a press briefing, new Minister of State Meenakshi Lekhi dismissed the Kisan Sansad.
किसान के पास समय नहीं है जंतर मंतर आके बैठने का, वो अपने खेत में काम कर रहा है. ये आड़तियों के द्वारा चढ़ाए गए लोग हैं, फिर किसान आप उन लोगों को बोल रहे हैं, मवाली है वो.
The Lok Sabha and the Rajya Sabha were adjourned during the day several times on different issues, including the farm laws. Farmers have been protesting on this issue for nearly 8 months now. They say they will continue to protest in every form they can, come rain, come sunshine.
किसान की बात को मीडिया के सामने रखने से भी आप रोकने का काम करेंगे?
ये मीडिया लॉज है.
नहीं मीडिया हमें मीडिया ने बुलाया है.
आप दे रहे हैं,
On the other side of Parliament, Cox cited higher authorities to stop these MPs speaking about the farmers. With Chunakshi Chakrabarti in New Delhi, Anusuya Mathur for NDTV.
To Punjab now, where the inauguration of Navjot Singh Sidhu and 4 working presidents under him in the Punjab State Congress will take place on Friday. Chief Minister Captain Amarinder Singh will attend that event. Mr. Singh has invited party leaders to tea at Punjab Bhavan on Friday, after which they will proceed to the party office for that program. Akshay Dongre has this report.
Punjab Chief Minister Amarinder Singh appears to have finally accepted his rival Navjot Sidhu's appointment as the State Congress Chief, with this and an invitation for tea tomorrow morning. A day after this show of strength by Navjot Singh Sidhu, Punjab Congress leaders, including newly appointed working presidents, reached out to Punjab Chief Minister with a letter inviting him for Sidhu's takeover at the party headquarters tomorrow. The invite, seen as a softening of Sidhu's stand, read, "As the eldest of our Punjab Congress family, I request you to please come and bless the new team." It was also signed by a majority of the MLAs. Elections are early next year.
प्रधान साहब की तरफ से और समूह मंत्री और एमएलए साहबान के तरफ से एक इनविटेशन मुख्यमंत्री साहब को देने आए थे. कल इस फंक्शन में जहां मुख्यमंत्री साहब और हमारे ऑल इंडिया कांग्रेस कमेटी के जनरल सेक्रेटरी हरीश रावत जी भी आएंगे.
Soon after meeting with Congress leaders, Punjab Chief Minister's media advisor tweeted accepting the invitation. Earlier, Raveen Thukral had ruled out the CM meeting with Sidhu if there was no apology.
Well, the demands that were raised by the Chief Minister that Sidhu apologizes for his earlier tweets as a condition for him to attend the ceremony has not been met. But the Chief Minister has finally agreed that he will be taking part as far as that particular ceremony is concerned. Now, what exactly happens in the future as far as Congress politics is concerned in Punjab is still a big question. But for now, things are looking in favor of Navjot Singh Sidhu, who will be taking over as the Punjab Pradesh Congress Committee President tomorrow. With camera person Ashwini Mehra, Akshay Dongde, NDTV.
Now to Karnataka, where the political suspense over Chief Minister B.S. Yediyurappa continues. He told the media on Thursday that there would be a celebration of his 2 years in office on the 26th. And after that, he would follow what the party decides for him. He pointed out that he has been an exception in the party in holding this public office after the age of 75.
Veteran BJP leader, Karnataka's Chief Minister B.S. Yediyurappa is still keeping people guessing over the will he or won't he resign question. Speculation that he would step down peaked after his sudden visit to Delhi last Friday to meet the Prime Minister and other top BJP leaders. A few Karnataka BJP leaders had been outspoken in their criticism of the Chief Minister's style of functioning and the alleged interference of his son Vijendra, prompting a recent visit by the party state in charge Arun Singh, who gave an endorsement to the Chief Minister after meeting party leaders. Yediyurappa himself has been denying any talk of resignation, but that has not ended the uncertainty.
ಇನ್ನೂ ಯಾವುದೇ ಮೆಸೇಜ್ ಇಲ್ಲ ನನಗೆ 25 ಏನಾದರೂ ಮೆಸೇಜ್ ಬರಬಹುದು ಅಂತ ಕಾಯ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೇನೆ. ಕೇಂದ್ರದ ನಾಯಕತ್ವ ಏನು ತೀರ್ಮಾನ ತಗೊಳುತ್ತೆ ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ನಾನು ಬದ್ಧನಾಗಿರ್ತೇನೆ ಅಂತ ಹಿಂದೆನೂ ಹೇಳಿದ್ದೇನೆ, ಈಗಲೂ ಹೇಳಿದ್ದೇನೆ. ಮುಖ್ಯಮಂತ್ರಿಯಾಗಿ ಎಷ್ಟು ದಿನ ಇರಬೇಕು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೋ ಅಷ್ಟು ದಿವಸ ಮುಖ್ಯಮಂತ್ರಿಯಾಗಿರ್ತೇನೆ. ಯಾವತ್ತು ಬೇಡ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ ಅವತ್ತು ಸಂಘಟನೆಯನ್ನು ಬಲಪಡಿಸೋಕೆ ರಾಜ್ಯದಲ್ಲಿ ಪ್ರವಾಸ ಮಾಡಿ ಕೆಲಸ ಮಾಡ್ತೇನೆ.
On Wednesday evening, the Chief Minister had tweeted asking people not to indulge in protests or indiscipline. The Chief Minister has been seeing support for his continuation in the post from heads of Hindu religious institutions who had met him personally and who also gave statements asking him to complete the final 2 years of his term. Ministers loyal to him have been saying there is no question of a leadership change.
It is very clear, no discussion is being held in the state about the CM change. For us, CM is continuing, he will continue.
The BJP's first ever South Indian Chief Minister is not someone who can be ignored. With Kumar and Govind, Maya Sharma in Bengaluru for NDTV.
Welcome back. Maharashtra has added over 5,000 deaths over the last few days in the reconciliation exercise as far as COVID is concerned. Officials say that the state regularly adds backlogs to its COVID numbers in order to ensure that the data is authentic and the numbers are not suppressed.
45-year-old Surekha Rokre says that her husband, Rao Sahib Rokre, died due to COVID. She says a key report of the hospital showed a high CT score and indicated COVID, but the hospital did not share her husband's COVID test report. The Ahmednagar Civil Hospital admission slip says he was admitted for suspected COVID, but the death certificate has no mention of it.
मग कसं सांभाळायचं आम्ही आम्हाला जे आणि रिपोर्टवर काही दिलेलंच नाही ना त्यांनी आम्हाला आणि दवाखान्यात नेलं त्यावेळेस त्यांनी आम्हाला स्कोर सांगितले होते आणि मग रिपोर्टवर काहीच नाही दिलं त्यांनी आम्हाला तसं मग त्यांनी त्यांचा मृत्यू झाली.
The government says such cases are being added to the list after scrutiny, and it's checking and correcting its list of COVID deaths. In 1 week, the death tally in India's worst hit state has increased by 3,500 and 23,000 backlog deaths were added in 2 months.
सायंकाळी आम्ही 3,500 हे मृत्यूचे आकडे जे रिकन्सायलेशन केले ॲडजस्ट केले म्हणजे हे काही कुठे लपवलेले नाही आहेत. आम्ही अत्यंत पारदर्शक आणि प्रामाणिकपणे या बाबतीत काम करत आहोत. साधारणपणे 2,500 नवीन केसेस आणि 3,500 मृत्यूच्या केसेस या दोन्ही रिकन्सायलेशन करण्याची कार्यवाही करण्यात आलेली आहे.
Districts have been told to ensure that the need to reconcile data does not arise in the future and that they follow up with private hospitals daily and upload data daily. For those who were left out of the lists, the worry is that if the government announces compensation, they may not even be eligible for it. In 3 weeks, the centre has to give its compensation plan for COVID deaths to the Supreme Court. The addition of backlog deaths has pushed up India's weekly case fatality rate, which is used to define the severity of the pandemic, and 23,000 backlog cases being added from one state alone in 2 months will push up India's COVID death tally significantly. In Mumbai, with camera person Paveen G. Rohit, Saurabh Gupta, NDTV.
And staying with Maharashtra, rain has caused havoc in Konkan region of the state, especially in Ratnagiri and Raigad. The incessant rain has flooded Chiploon and Khed in Ratnagiri and Mahad in the Raigad district. Things have become so bad that the Coast Guard had to be taken along with the NDRF.
Chiploon city of Ratnagiri drowned by incessant rain. The roads turned into rivers which got stuck where they were. The Vashishti river engulfed the entire city. About 5,000 people trapped there had to be taken to safety along with the NDRF as well as the Coast Guard.
जे लोक अडकले त्यांच्या फूड पॅकेटची व्यवस्था केली आहे आणि लोक सुरक्षित पहिली प्रायोरिटी लोकांना सुरक्षित बाहेर काढणं यासाठी आहे. हेलिकॉप्टर्सची जर गरज लागली लोकांना इकडनं सुरक्षित स्थळी नेण्यासाठी तर त्याची देखील व्यवस्था तयार करून ठेवण्यास सांगितलेली आहे.
प्रशासन है, लोकप्रतिनिधि है, जनता है, सब मिलके जितने भी लोग फंसे हुए हैं उनको बाहर निकालने की प्राथमिकता जनता का, जिसके जो अटके हुए लोग हैं उनकी जान का बचाने की प्राथमिकता है.
2 other rivers, the Jagbudi in Ratnagiri and Savitri in Mahad, are flowing above the danger mark. Personnel of both disaster relief and Coast Guard are helping out now. In Ratnagiri and Raigad, when the Mumbai-Goa highway was closed, heavy rain also washed away the railway line, as a result of which rail traffic on Central Railway from Teetwala to Igatpuri and from Ambarnath to Lonavla remained suspended for hours.
घोरघाट और कसारा घाट में जगह जगह पर बोल्डर गिरने के केसेस हुए थे, लैंडस्लाइड हुई थी, ट्रैक वॉशआउट के जगह जगह केसेस हुए थे.
The heavy rain has led to the lakes which supply water to Mumbai, rising as much as 17% in just one day. Chief Minister Uddhav Thackeray has warned of more rain and held a meeting to organize relief with officials. With Saurabh Gupta, Joshua Chin for NDTV.
Media group Dainik Bhaskar and an Uttar Pradesh-based news channel were raided on Thursday by income tax officials. Both have been accused of tax evasion and floating shell companies in a statement released to news agency ANI by the government sources.
भास्कर समूह के कई दफ्तरों पर गुरुवार तड़के इनकम टैक्स विभाग ने छापा मारा है. विभाग की टीमें दिल्ली, मध्य प्रदेश, महाराष्ट्र, गुजरात और राजस्थान स्थित दफ्तरों पर पहुंची है और
Officials of the Income Tax Department at the residence of the promoters of the Dainik Bhaskar Group, which publishes one of India's largest selling Hindi dailies.
The raids that started on 7 a.m. covered over 30 locations in 5 different states, including Delhi, Madhya Pradesh, Gujarat, Rajasthan and Maharashtra, and also on the homes of the promoters of Dainik Bhaskar Group in Bhopal.
हमारी पत्रकारिता से क्यों डर रही है सरकार? मैं स्वतंत्र हूं क्योंकि मैं भास्कर हूं. भास्कर में चलेगी पाठकों की मर्जी.
In its tweets, Dainik Bhaskar said their reporting will be undeterred, a reference to the Bhaskar Group's hard-hitting reports on the devastation of the second COVID wave, notable for their coverage of dead bodies washing up on the shores of the Ganga. The New York Times a month ago had published Dainik Bhaskar editor Om God's piece on COVID deaths in India titled "The Ganges is Returning the Dead. It Does Not Lie." Bhaskar was one of the few Hindi papers to front-page reports on the recent Pegasus snooping scandal.
अभी नहीं करेंगे, नहीं चल तो रहा है ऑलरेडी.
In Lucknow, income tax raids at the office of news channel Bharat Samachar and the residence of its editor-in-chief Brajesh Mishra. Bharat Samachar's recent reporting has been critical of the UP government. A few policemen are present at the spot, and there is a 6 to 7 member team of the income tax department that is inside. Sources say what they are doing is that they are examining taxation papers that they feel or they know are kept here. They say that there is quote unquote, according to them, conclusive evidence that there has been some kind of fraud. The editor-in-chief, Brijesh Mishra, has also given a statement to say that we are being targeted because we have been critical of the incumbent government's handling of the COVID crisis, etc. The raids drew sharp criticism from opposition parties. The Information and Broadcasting Minister, however, said the law is taking its own course.
लेकिन मैं इतना ही कहूंगा, एजेंसीज अपना काम करती हैं, उस पे हमारा कोई दखलंदाजी नहीं होती.
Sources in the Income Tax Department have told NDTV that the day-long searches at the premises of Dainik Bhaskar Group have led to the unearthing of evidence allegedly showing tax evasion worth hundreds of crores and also round-tipping of funds and related party transactions. Sources also say, with the names of the promoters figuring in the Panama Papers, the agency is also contemplating to initiate proceedings under Black Money Act. With Alok Pandey, Anurag Tiwari and camera person Ashok Mahale, this is Arvind Gunasekar for NDTV.
Meanwhile, the Income Tax Department has tweeted certain allegations have appeared in some sections of media that IT department officials were suggesting changes in stories and taking editorial decisions during their search on offices of a certain publication. These allegations are absolutely false and are categorically denied by IT department. In keeping with the department's protocol, the investigation team only looked into the financial transactions of the group related to tax evasion. Shri Om Gaur is based in Lucknow. As per his interview to media, it is emphasized that Lucknow office of the publication was not searched by the income tax team. Shri Om Gaur was not even questioned. The allegations being made have no basis and in fact seem to be highly motivated. Well, that's it on this bulletin. From the entire team, thanks for watching. Goodbye.